Ronnie Chasen.
I'm gonna get down here.
It was a murder cover-up, and I'll tell you why. Here are the facts. Are you recording this?
Yeah.
Vote. Here are the facts. One, the coroner, the LA coroner, one of the most, you know, prestigious coroner areas in the world.
Be careful.
Oh yeah, thank you. That was dog shit. He came out after she was murdered. The autopsy report and him both stated that the bullet used was a 9mm hollow point. Hollow points, you don't use those for hunting. You don't use those for random robberies. You use those to kill somebody. Like gangsters use those. Hired help use those. Also, the coroner states that there were 5 shots. 2 different groupings, all of them very close, as in professional hitman. 3 were in the chest, the right breast, chest area, the heart, and 2 were in the shoulder. Now, they also state that it had to be from a trajectory coming down at an angle from her passenger side. That would mean that they even say, the coroner report says, an SUV or a truck pulled up to her passenger side. Well, that's the trajectory of a truck. Like, I'm at a truck level right now. But now they're saying suddenly they just said, fuck all that. They're saying none of that matters. We were lying, or we were wrong. It was a man on a bike. A bicycle? A man on a bicycle. That doesn't add up. A man on a bicycle would have to not only pull it to right at the window, but then he'd have to stand on top of the bike nearly, or at least kneel on top of the bike like Pee Wee Herman and shoot down. That didn't happen. They say that at first that they didn't even believe that this Harold Smith guy was connected. They thought he was delusional. Even though he had said, oh, I was paid $10,000 to kill that Beverly Hills woman. He didn't get paid $10,000. He said he was going to. He's not a professional marksman. He doesn't have that skill. He's an ex-con. He was in the military years ago, but he was not a marksman. He was desperate. Oh. It's okay. Turn it off. So, part 2. So, they're saying that, suddenly they're saying that this desperate, disturbed career criminal, who already had 2 strikes against him on California's 3-strike rule. 2 strikes. So, he knew that one more felony, he would go to jail for life. They're not going to save him. So even though he knew this, they're saying that he was disturbed, he was desperate, and he wanted money. So let's take that into consideration. If he was disturbed and desperate, that probably means, I state 100%, if you're disturbed and desperate, you're not thinking logically. So if he's illogical, he illogically decided to take his bicycle and to bike his bicycle and to bike 30 miles from his East Hollywood apartment on Santa Monica Boulevard. 30 miles he bicycled at night, on a Monday night, to Beverly Hills randomly. Because he thought, well, this is where the, you know, high-class area is. I can get the best. Okay, so that sounds like an illogical person. So then he bikes, not thinking that anything ever had to happen was the police pull him over for, you know, dressed as he was. He wasn't, you know, he's, you know, 3 steps from vagrancy. But so his clothes are, you know, fairly tattered. I mean, he's not wearing good clothes. He's bicycling. They could have pulled him over, found a gun on him, and he's in jail for life. But he's not thinking logically. So he doesn't think about that. Then he sees a car you know, pulling up slowly to a light. He's in the middle, riding in the middle of the street, heading west. Pulls up next to her. Is that still going?
Yeah.
Pulls up next to her. For some reason, he's got the marksman shot, shoots 5 times. Okay. So he shoots 5 times, kills her because he needs to rob her for money. But as she pulled off and she drove 100 feet to the left, he could have, when she crashed, gone and taken the money because he had been thinking illogically. So he's not going to think that logically he needs to get out. You know, before the cops get there, he's thinking illogically. So he should have gone and got the money and then gotten out of there. But no. He thinks logically, so he thinks logically and says, I got 5 casings, shell casings on the ground at 12:30 in the morning. I've got to pick those up. I've got to take the time to pick those up from the street, to find them, pick them up from the street. He doesn't have a flashlight. Pick them up from the street and then bike out of there. But I can't be suspicious because he's thinking logically now, even though he's thought illogically the whole time. Then police approach him and he shoots himself in the head because suddenly he thinks logically and realizes, you know what? I've got 2 strikes against me. I'm going to jail for life. Boom. That is a cover-up. Do you understand? Is that still rolling?
Yeah.
That is a fucking cover-up. Who killed her? That's not the question. Who is not the question. Why? What reason? Who benefited? Why was she killed? Cut that shit. We going? We rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. Part 3 of this cover-up. Forgot to mention a couple things. 1, Miss Chasen said back in April of this year, 2010, she told a friend, multiple friends, I feel like I'm being followed. She felt like somebody was following her. Okay, we all feel like that. I feel like that right now. Who is this behind the camera? I don't know. 2, she inexplicably changed her will in October or September, something like that. Just 2 months prior, she changed her will. Now that might not mean anything. Both of those might not mean anything. They're just little details that I'm throwing in there. Just little details. The cameras at the intersection were off. What we later found out from the Beverly Hills Police Department is that those cameras have not been there. They've been taken down like several years ago. Okay, so they're not there. They didn't record anything. The neighbors had cameras, of course, security cameras out at the street and everything, but they didn't catch anything. They didn't see anything. You know, the police won't tell us what was on them. They said nothing was on them. These are details. And the last one is the night before the murder. Neighbors heard motocycles, going up and down the street in a 15, 20, 30-minute span. And they said that was very unusual, that during that quiet neighborhood that you don't ever see anything. It's a busy intersection, sure, but not back and forth.
You got like 10 seconds.
I have 10 seconds, so let me just say, cover up